Hello friends, I'm Archana Moria from Kekiwag Institute of Engineering, Education and Research, Nasik. Today we are going to focus on a Unit 2, which is Fourier series. Now, series means what? Series means addition of infinite terms. Students, in Unit 1, you have learned we can express any function in algebraic series, means in terms of x. And for example, suppose we have this series of e raised to x. Here we expressed e raised to x in algebraic series of x, and using this algebraic series we are approximating here this function e raised to x, and for this we used Maclaurin's series, Taylor's theorem to expand this function in algebraic series of x. Similarly, if we have a periodic function, then that periodic function we can express in terms of sine and cos. We can express that in terms of sine and cos. And this series is called as Fourier series. When we express the function as a series of sine and cos, then that is called as Fourier series. Here you can see the square wave. This is approximated by this sine and cosine series. This triangle wave, this is approximated by this sine and cosine series. And this Fourier series is really very important because we can use this Fourier series. This is used in the analysis and design of physical and engineering problems such as heat induction, vibration, electromagnetic signals and systems. As this series is developed by Joseph Fourier, the series is developed by Joseph Fourier, so its name is Fourier series. Before this Fourier series, for this Fourier series, we must have the knowledge of some basic concepts. So let's revise it first. First of all, we require the knowledge of this periodic function. Now, what is meant by periodic function? If a function repeats itself after some interval, then it is called periodic function. And if you want to know the definition, f of x is said to be periodic. This f of x is said to be periodic if there exists a positive number t such that f of x plus t is equal to f of x. Means function repeat itself after certain interval. For example, this sin x, right? And you can see here this. For the sin x, when we write f of x plus 2 pi, means in place of x, when we write x plus 2 pi, here also you replace x by x plus 2 pi. And we know that the value of this sin x plus 2 pi is sin x, right? So we have this original function f of x back. So it means function repeat its value after the interval of 2 pi. So this sin x is a periodic function. Similarly, cos of x plus 2 pi is also cos x. So this cos will repeat its value after the interval of 2 pi. So this sin x, cos x, all are these periodic functions, and the 2 pi is the period of this function as the function repeat its value after the interval of 2 pi. And if you want to know graphically, then you can see here from the interval 0 to 2 pi, here you can see in this interval 0 to 2 pi, whatever graph we have in this interval 0 to 2 pi, this same graph you will get in next interval 0 to next interval 2 pi. The next will be 4 pi. And if you trace this graph, then you can see the same graph you will get in next interval of 2 pi. The same you will get in next interval of 2 pi. Right, so the graph will repeat itself. Similarly for this cos also. And one more important thing, as you can see here, sin x plus 4 pi. What will be the sine x plus 4 pi? Again sine x, right? What about this sine x plus 6 pi? This is again sine x, right? So in short, this f of x plus 4 pi, this is sine x. F of x plus 6 pi is again sine x, right? So this 4 pi, 6 pi, all these are also period, right? So you just note down one very important thing. When this f of x plus t is equal to f of x, then f of x plus 2t is again f of x. F of x plus 3t is again f of x. Like this. 2 pi is period, then 4 pi is also period, 6 pi is also period, right? But when we talk about this fundamental period t, this is the smallest period of this f of x. Among all these values, the smallest is 2 pi. So 2 pi is a period of this sin x. Okay. Now we'll move to the another basic concept that is related with the biparts. So we know that how to integrate two functions using biparts. So if we have to use bipart here, what we do at this time, we write u integration of v minus derivative of u integration of v. Is it? Right? So similarly, there is general formula of bipart, and the rule is when you have to use the generalized formula, what to do is here we have to write u. Here v1 means integration of v. This is derivative of u, and this means integration of v1. Then derivative of u, which is u double dash. When you integrate u dash, you will get u double dash. Second derivative of u. When you integrate this v2, you will get next integration, and that is v3. And the process goes on. In this generalized formula, the most important thing is the selection of u. This u is a polynomial. U is a polynomial. Listen carefully. U is a polynomial, or you can say the power of x whose successive derivative become 0. U should be a term whose derivative becomes 0 after some steps, after certain differentiation. Then only this generalized formula will work. For example, suppose we have to integrate this x squared sin x. So in this x squared sin x, if you have to use this generalized formula, so our first step is to select this u, right? And if you go through this function, there is x squared, there is sine, right? And this x square is a term whose derivative becomes 0 after some steps, after some successive differentiation. After 2 steps, this derivative will be 0. So we'll treat this as u. This will be a v, right? And when you will use here this bipart, then you can see here u. This is integration of v, which is minus cos x. Integration of sine is minus cos x. This is our v1. Now derivative of u means derivative of x square is 2x. Integration of minus cos is minus sine. Integration of cos is sine, and this minus sine as it is, right? Now the next derivative of u dash, this is a u double dash, and the derivative of 2x is 2, and integration of sine is minus cos, so that minus, and this minus will be plus, and this is cos x. Now the next derivative u triple dash is 0. So after this, all terms will be 0. Okay, and you will get integration as x square cos x plus 2x sin x plus 2 cos x plus obviously the constant of integration c. If suppose we have to find integration of x cos x dx, right? So here also you can see this is a u, This is a v. So when you apply this formula, x as it is, u, integration of v, integration of cos sin x, then derivative of x, 1, integration of sine minus cos x, and you can see here, this is x sin x plus cos x and the constant of integration c. In this way you can find integration by using the generalized rule of by parts. Now let's move to the main topic, which is Fourier series. If we have any function f of x which is periodic and if it is defined in the interval c to c plus 2l, if a function f of x is defined in the interval c to c plus 2x and this function is periodic, if we have a function which is defined in the interval, this function is defined in the interval c to c plus 2l and this function is periodic, and as you can see that this is defined in the interval c to c plus 2l. So the period of this interval is, the length of the interval is 2l. So this is the period of that function. Okay. Then we can express that function f of x in a series of sine and cos. We can express that function in a series of sine and cos. This series you can see here, this is cos pi x upon l, sin pi x upon l. Similarly, the terms goes on. This series we can represent in terms of summation like this. The constant a naught by 2 as it is. Now you can see here we have a1, here we have a2. In next term there will be a3. So if you want to write this in summation, the nth term means an. Right? Here we have cos pi x upon l. Here we have cos 2 pi x upon l. In next term there will be cos 3 pi x upon l. In this way, in nth term there will be cos n pi x upon l. Cos 1 pi x upon l, cos 2 pi x upon l. The next will be cos 3 pi x upon l. So here we have cos n pi x upon l. Plus similarly, here we have b1, b2. Next term there will be b3. So in nth term there will be bn. Here sine 1 pi x upon l, sine 2 pi x upon l. In next term sine 3 pi x upon l, so on up to sine n pi x upon l. Right? And as this is an infinite series, there are infinite terms. So n varies from 1 to infinity. This is Fourier series of the function f of x, and this a0, an and bn, these are called Fourier coefficients, or you can also call them Fourier constants. According to function, these values will change, and to calculate these values we have the formula here. To get this a0, we have the formula 1 upon l c to c plus 2l f of x dx. Now while using this formula, we have to be careful with this L. If a function defined in the interval, 0 to 4. So what is the length of this interval? 4, right? So this is a period. And if it is a period, it means it is compared with 2L. So you will get L is equal to 2. If a function is defined in the interval -4 to 4, right? So you can see here, this is total length of the interval is 8, right? So this you have to compare with the period 12. The period is 8, so 12 is 8, and you will get here L is equal to 4. So in this way you have to calculate the value of L. Whatever is the period, the half of that period we have to write here L. Then this is limits in which function defines c to c plus 2l, and integrate the function f of x, whatever function we required to express in terms of sine and cos. So that function we have to write here, and you will get this n node. Similarly, for this n, 1 upon L C2C plus 2L, and this time with the function f of x, we have here cos. You can see here in this Fourier series also, this is an cos. So while finding this an with the function f of x, there is a cos term. For this bn with the function f of x, there is a term of sine. And using these formulas, you will get a naught, an, bn. And when you substitute that formulas in this series, you will get the Fourier series for the function f of x. So let's solve an example based on this. If suppose we have to find Fourier series of the function f of x equal to x, and this time is defined in the interval, function is defined in the interval 0 to 2 pi. Right? And as this is given here, you can see f of x plus 2 pi is equal to f of x. It means function is periodic. Function will repeat its value after the interval 2 pi. So when we have to find Fourier series for this function, what to do is, first of all, you can see here, when you will write the Fourier series, this f of x is equal to, write the formula for Fourier series, a naught by 2 plus summation n from 1 to infinity an cos n pi x upon L plus bn sine n pi x upon L, right? Now we have to find these a naught, an, and bn. Before this, we must know what is the value of L. So as you can see, the function is defined in the interval 0 to 2 pi. So the period is here. Period is here 2 pi. The length of this interval is 2 pi, right? The length of the interval is 2 pi. So the period is 2 pi. It means 2L is equal to 2 pi. So it gives us the value of L as pi. Done. Function defined in the interval 0 to 2 pi. So you can see the length of the interval is 2 pi. So that is the period, and 2L is equal to 2 pi means L is equal to pi. Now let's write the formula for A naught. A naught is 1 upon L C to C plus 2L f of x dx, right? So now we have the value of L as pi. Function defined in the interval 0 to 2 pi. So we'll write that interval here 0 to 2 pi. Now function whose Fourier series is required is x, f of x is x. Now you just integrate this. Integration of x is x squared by 2. Limit is from 0 to 2 pi. And this is 1 upon pi 4 pi square upon 2, and when you simplify, you will get, we can cancel this 1 pi from here, and when you divide this, you will get a naught as 2 pi. Okay. Now let's find the value of this an. This an is equal to, first of all, write the formula, generalized formula, c to c plus 2l f of x cos n pi x upon L dx, right? Now put all the values here. We have the value of L as pi. The interval is 0 to 2 pi. Function f of x is x cos. Now we know the value of L as pi. So this pi and pi will get cancelled, and we have here only nx dx to integrate. So now while integrating this, one we have to write as a u, other as a v. So this algebraic term, polynomial, we will treat this as u, and this is a v. So when you use this uv formula, then u integration of v, which is integration of cos h sin nx, and as we are integrating with respect to x, the n is constant, so that will go in denominator, minus derivative of this u, which is x, is 1 integration of sine is minus cos nx upon n. And this previous n means one more n, so this is n square. The next derivative will be 0, so no need to write the term, and limit is from 0 to 2. Okay, now we have to put the limits. So when we substitute here x as 2 pi, when you substitute here x as 2 pi, then you can see this is 2 pi sine 2n pi upon n plus cos 2n pi upon n square. This is value after substituting upper limit. Now let's substitute the lower limit 0. When you substitute 0 here, the first term is 0. When we substitute 0 here, this is cos of 0 upon n square. Okay. So we know that this cos of 0 is 1. Cos 2n pi is always 1. Cos 2 pi, cos 3 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, all are 1. And this sine 2n pi is 0. So using this, you can see we have here 1 upon pi. This value is 0. Sine 2n pi is 0. This value is 0. This is 1. So 1 by n square minus cos of 0 is 1. So this is minus 1 upon n square, and you can see the value of an is 0. Okay. Now let's find value of bn. bn is 1 upon L c to c plus 2L f of x cos, for the bn this is sine n pi x upon L dx. Now put the values of L here, value of L and the limits. So this is 1 upon pi, 0 to 2 pi, function is x, sine. Now when you substitute here L is equal to pi, this pi and pi will get cancelled, and this is sine nx dx. Again use here by part, x integration of sine. This is a u and this is a v. So x integration of sine is minus cos nx upon n minus derivative of x is 1, integration of minus cos is minus sine nx, one more n in denominator, so n square, limit is from 0 to 2 pi. After this, the term will be 0. When you differentiate 1, the next term will be 0. So no need to write that terms. And this is 1 upon pi. Now put the upper limit 2 pi. So when we substitute upper limit 2 pi, this is 2 pi minus, when you substitute here x as 2 pi, this is cos 2n pi upon n plus, minus and minus is plus. When you substitute x as a 2 pi, this is sine 2n pi upon n square. This is value after substituting upper limit. Okay. Now let's substitute this lower limit 0. So when we substitute lower limit 0, first term is 0 because of this x. But now when you substitute lower limit 0, here you will get sine 0. And we know that sine 0 is 0. So we have here 1 upon pi minus 2 pi. Cos of 2n pi is 1. So this is 1 upon n. Sine of 2n pi is 0. Sine 0 is 0. So finally we have this value as minus 2n pi upon n into 1 upon pi. And when you will cancel this pi and pi, this is the value of b. Right? Now we have all the Fourier coefficients. So now we have to substitute these values in a Fourier series, which is a0 by 2 summation n from 1 to infinity an cos n pi x upon L plus bn sine n pi x upon L. Right? So when you substitute a naught, which is 2 pi upon 2, now here value of an is 0, so this is 0. Value of bn is minus 2 upon n, so this is 2 upon n. Sine L is pi, so this pi and pi will get cancelled, and this is nx. So finally we have the series for x, and this is Fourier series for x is pi minus summation 2 upon n sine nx, and varies from 1 to infinity. Okay, so here we express this x in terms of sine n, in terms of sine series. Similarly, we can find the Fourier series for other functions. So in next lecture, we'll solve the examples based on this Fourier series. Thank you so much for watching.